Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Oh shoot! All right, I I assume that's the finale. Uh, Anthony told me about Angry Joe, but I think I saw a thumbnail after he said that. That yeah, this is the season finale. Let me start with the positive first. Um, it was fucking funny. Uh, like funny, but like in like a kind of I don't know, like more like morbid, funny type of way. Like it's like a kind of a quasi dark scene where you're like Sauron is torturing Celebrimbor. Like you say is this fucking weirdo's name. It's like he gives him like he says a line, but it comes off as like this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. He fucking jabs him and shit. That's fucking hilarious, man. And I think we need more of that from the Sauron character. There's also another moment with Sauron where, if you remember the orc who's like crying about his fellow brother orcs, like he's a fucking orcitarian, humanitarian ass motherfucker. He's like I look up to my brothers type of guy. He was the one crying to the I don't know the guy's name. Man. The guy who's like the daddy of the orcs. He was like, oh, Daddy, why do you treat us so horribly? Why don't you care about us? And they actually built it up with like orcs dying in weird ways. And you're like, how come you don't care about us? Like this one guy would complain about it. Sauron kills this fool for speaking up for like a second. He's like, shut the fuck up, and jabs him through the neck with a sword. I'm like, okay, those are two satisfying moments. That's all I got for positives. The rest is either kind of cringy wreckage or boring, like not like kind of not important. To me. Like, yeah, nothing to me. There's some funny shit. There is some funny shit in here, man. That's like unintentionally funny. I say, Jesus Christ. Well, let's go to the big ones, right? It's Sauron and Galadriel finally go head to head, right? We've been the show's been kind of building that up since season one. She's her main goal is to finally Sauron's still alive. He's out there somewhere, right? And then she finally finds him, and then the guy like I guess escapes or something. Like, oh, he's pretending to be human, and then all of season two goes by, and now we're here, and boom, she gets her 1v1. And damn, it felt like a lit down, man. It felt like a lit down thing. I thought they were gonna like pause, blow their fucking load on that shit. I thought all their writing talent, all their directing talent, all their cinematography talent, all the action and all of it, the makeup to every little bit of it, of every talent they have, they're throwing it all into this one scene because it's Galadriel versus Sauron. That's like they're building that in the show. The one that she was pointing out and no one fucking believed her. And now everyone believes her. Now it's her chance to like, it's her 1v1 chance, man. Especially when she fucks fools up, right? In the show. She fucks everyone, like she fucked everyone up in the show. Basically. But I guess Sauron, it's Sauron's beating the shit out of her, right? Like he's getting like little cuts here or there, like a fucking Zorro sword fight. She's getting her nicks on her shoulders and her legs and shit like that here and there. And she's like, "Damn, I'm like defeated." Right? I think he stabs her with a crown or something like that. No. That's later. They're going back and forth, but Sauron is clearly winning the fight. And then Galadriel makes a comeback at some point. And she's starting to like beat him up. she's cutting him on the face or cutting him on the shoulder or whatever the fuck, right? And then he starts changing faces, and the one that's like initially stops her is where he turns into, I guess, human-looking version of himself, like the one she knows betrayed her. For some reason, that stopped her, and she's like, "I can't. Oh, I'm stunned. I can't. What do I do now?" I'm like, dude, he didn't like turn into like, I don't know, Galadriel's brother or her dad or something, like someone that's like really important to her that makes her like pause for a second. He just turned into a human version of himself, and that stopped her. I guess they're saying in that moment like, oh, she was in love with him, but it turns out he was a bad guy. He was Sauron the whole time. I guess that's what they were going for there. But it's like she shouldn't, like, it wasn't like, at least in the shows, with the show telling me that love thing wasn't big enough for her to be like, oh, I remember when I loved you. Like that shit, it wasn't big enough for that. So I don't know why she paused there. She should have been like, oh, it's you. I'm gonna fucking like decapitate you now, bro. I'm gonna wreck your shit now. I got you like on the fucking ropes. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now. So that was just a weird. That was just weird. Uh, and then obviously since she was stunned by human version of Sauron, she gets pushed back, right? Sauron starts taking the momentum back to himself, right? He turns into like fucking Celebrimbor. He turns into all these different characters, right? Whatever. He takes the momentum back, and then he fucks her up, and that's when I think he stabs her with the fucking crown, like through the chest. Like, oh shit, she's fucked. And then she's standing at like the edge of a cliff, and I think he tells her, like, "Oh, you." I could be absolutely getting all this wrong, like out of order. But it's something like, oh, you would have been my queen if you would have just, I don't know, obeyed or something like that. And I guess they attempt to make us think that she's conceding the ring when we all know she's not going to. But they try to make it look like they're, tricking us into thinking she's going to give the ring up to Sauron. Instead, she grasps it and then just falls backwards off a cliff. Don't worry, she gets brought back to life anyways. Doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't matter that she, I guess, sacrificed herself because she didn't really sacrifice herself. She just got brought back magically. Uh, so that's basically your Sauron versus Galadriel fight, and it kind of went by with nothing. I thought Sauron torturing Celebrimbor was much more entertaining and much more interesting, and it was absolutely hilarious when Celebrimbor stands up and he has just arrows. I'm trying to think of what movie I'm thinking of, where the guy stands up and he has like arrows in his knees and arrows in his arms at the same time. He's like, "Oh fuck, like, oh, I'm fucking wrecked right now." Like they try to make it dramatic, but I couldn't help but giggle. I thought that was just hilarious. That this dude was just arrows in all his limbs and shit. He's like standing up. He looks like a fucking porcupine or like a pincushion or some shit. That shit's hilarious to me. Uh, Jesus Christ. What else? What else are there supposed to be like the big moments? I guess when Galadriel comes back, Elrond, I think that's his name, puts the ring on her finger when he was like kind of cursing it the whole time. Now he's like in favor of it. Got it. Cool. The dwarf showing up. Right, the dwarf showing up and saving them. And I'm talking about the battle shed. I already know about the the Gandalf shit. But I'm talking about like the battle and the whole major war scene and all that shit, and the battle with Sauron and the rings and all that shit. I guess dwarves show up, they help out. They kind of showed like very little of it. It felt like they they showed so little of it. It's almost like they didn't like do anything. It's just like they showed up, shot a few arrows, killed some guys, and like, all right, we're good. What's his name couldn't show up. Durin couldn't show up because his dad got fucked up by a giant hell monster thing. I don't know what the fuck that thing is. I think I've heard of that thing before, but I don't fucking. I don't know. I don't know by name. Forgive me. Um, what else? Uh, in the battle and like the kind of the following the battle. Not much to move me at all. Not really. I I I guess bring up the daddy of the orcs dies like the way they killed or tried to kill Sauron, right? Right, a million stabs and then like all that shit. Okay, even like the actually like the way it looked aesthetically kind of reminded me of either Jon Snow when he gets betrayed by the Night's Watch, maybe less so that and more so the Children of the Forest, where the girl sacrifices herself, right, for to save Bran and the girl, and hold the door scene, right, the girl where she fucking Al Qaeda's herself and fucking blows up the fucking cave and shit like that, where she's getting stabbed like a million times. It kind of looked like that, actually. Um, yeah, that just the thing that shit is stupid because the thing that led to it was the orcs complaining about their civil rights basically to this guy. Like, aren't you supposed to be fucking monsters, bro? These fools are like, Daddy, we're we're getting hurt and you don't even care, Daddy. I thought you loved us. Like that's the perspective of the fucking like actually the perspective of the orcs actually in the show. Like, why aren't they fucking monsters, bro? They're fucking actually like think about their civil rights and shit like that. And then they give away their shit to fucking Sauron. Like, let's betray this fool and join Team Sauron because he'll look after us. And then Sauron like absolutely doesn't give a fuck about them. They're just a means to an end. So, Jesus Christ. Like, who's not ruined in the show? Like, actually, the orcs are trash to me. The elves are trash to me. The dwarves are fucking trash to me. Sauron's the only thing that I'm like, where he has moments of like bad guy shit. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But it just gets taken away, man. It's almost meaningless in many parts of this show and in entirety. Um, yeah. What else did I write down? Oh, when they pull down the statue, when the orcs pull down the statue, it looks like fucking Operation Iraqi Freedom. They pull down like Saddam's fucking statue. It looks exactly like that. And it's like it's dark and hilarious. So, forgive me for laughing. I have a dark sense of humor. Uh, I guess Sauron was really in love with Galadriel. I'm just going over notes I wrote. I guess Sauron's actually in love with Galadriel. It's like you would have been my queen. I guess he actually cared about her like that. That's crazy. Uh, Yada yada yada. Whatever. Let's go to the end. Gandalf. The wizard's name is Gandalf, and he's barely in this episode. But I guess but Gandalf is supposed to be one of the major characters. Even I know his name, right? One of the major fucking characters in this whole saga of Lord of the Rings. Barely in the episode, and I guess we find out he is Gandalf. And by the way, the mercenaries that were like supposed to be like hunting him down, him and the fucking Harfoots hunting him down. They were like when I made fun of them for like talking and the way they talked. I'm like, okay, these guys are trash. Like they're like the Red Skull fucking mercenary guys. I'm like, these guys are fucking garbage. And he actually says the line like, my people are kings of kings. We're so badass." And then he just gets fucking murdered, like instantly, like nothing, which I guess is hilarious too. Like, oh, thank you, show, for showing me that these guys meant nothing, even though I already viewed them as nothing in the first place. So, like, it is what it is. I don't think there's anything else to say. I just ran through a bunch of notes I wrote because there's a lot of hilarity in this episode and in the season in general. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grade the entire season. And honest to God, nothing in this show has made me want to recommend this for any hey man, I'm on season 2. You should go watch season 1, then come catch up to me and let's watch season 2 together. Like, no, it's not there. If there's a season 3, I'm not recommending watching seasons 1 and 2 to catch up to watch season 3. I'm just not. The only reason to watch this is the reason I'm watching it in the first place. Because people are watching it and they care about it, mostly to shit on it. Let's be real. Most people want to shit on the show. And I understand. The Tolkien fans and the Lord of the Rings fans, I'm not an expert. I haven't read the books. I'm not into it like that. So I can't speak for their perspective. But if you're like someone who likes making fun of, like, let's be real, lack of creativity style TV shows or pop culture phenomenons that are like actually bad and it's like a kind of a thing to go watch it and talk about it together with other people and shit like that, I understand completely. But as a work of art, I cannot recommend this. If you're into the whole pop culture thing, yeah, sure, go watch it. If you're not, don't watch this fucking show. There's no reason to. It's kind of fucking boring. There's nothing redeeming of it for it. Like, you're not getting anything out of it. There's no like even like heartwarming moments. They're not even there. Or resilient moments where it's like, oh my god, the hero rose up and like it's not there. Sorry. So there's no reason to recommend this. The season, a grade for me, 6.7. 6.7. And it's mainly because there's nothing pulling me into the show. I don't care about these fucking characters. Like, I care about Sauron because he's the main bad guy, and I think villains make a big deal when it comes to storytelling. But there's not enough of them there. There's not enough, to me, there's not enough villain there, right? They don't showcase it enough. Or at least they don't make it like a likable villain, or like, I guess, hateable villain. Where it's like, fuck, I fucking hate this guy. Right? Like Tywin Lannister. Or fucking Joffrey is like, yo, I fucking hate that guy. Or Joker, where it's like, this guy's fucking interesting. Or Agent Smith, like, what does that guy represent? Does he mean something? Does he mean something bigger, like a metaphor or something? There isn't that in this show for me yet. Like, it's just not there. So, there's no redeeming quality there with the villains. There's no redeeming quality for the heroes. Like, I'm not getting anything from them. I don't feel like they're presenting anything special or interesting. It just is what it is, man. It's, to me, a lackluster show. And no, I'm not a culture warrior, and no, this is not about. And I won't fucking prop up House of Dragon to make this show look worse. It's just like both shows are mediocre. They're very mediocre to me. This is a mediocre show. House of Dragon's a mediocre show. But House of Dragon, I think, is actually better and more entertaining. Like, when House of Dragon gets bad, it's fun. This gets bad, I want to fall asleep. There it is in a nutshell. All right. Here's your review for this last season finale of season 2, but also, I guess, season 2 in general. Enjoy it.